Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Saturday night show, Cryptids and Conspiracies. Tonight, we are going to be more on the conspiracy side. Now, in American life, there are a few sacred cows. There are historical figures who seem to be unassailable and untouchable in a lot of ways. Tonight, we are going to butcher a sacred cow. Yeah, maybe or maybe not. We'll find out. We'll decide. Uh, we're going to talk about Helen Keller. Now, this was she's born in 1880. When she was 19 months old, she had what they think is meningitis, viral meningitis, and it took her eyesight and her hearing. She was pretty much feral until about 7 years old when she encountered a young lady by the name of Annie Sullivan, later tagged as the miracle worker, or the and she started communicating. She figured out a way to communicate with Helen, and suddenly Helen is learning different languages, writing books and pamphlets, and everything with a very distinctive political bent. And Annie is right there with her everywhere. So tonight we're going to ask the question: was Helen acting of her own volition, or was she a puppet? And we're going to try to make a decision about that. We have a poll available. The way you vote in this poll, let me show you, is you in the chat, you either, if you think it's debunked that she wasn't a puppet, that she was acting under her own volition, put a 1 in the chat. If you think it was confirmed, yes, she was a puppet, Nanny Sullivan's pulling the strings or whoever, put a 2. And if you think somewhere, the truth's in the middle somewhere, maybe she did have some volition, and then again, maybe she was being manipulated. And that's in the middle. That would be a 3. Anyway, we will check on that later on. Now, let me bring on my fellow parkours, as it were. Anyway, we're going to start with this guy.
Truly exceptional. And he had one thing you haven't got.
What's that, sir?
A great big bushy beard. Come on.
Welcome to the show, man. With
Hey,
a
how you
great big
doing?
bushy beard. Hey. Next guy up is going to be we'll go with this guy.
Sir, nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
It's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
Welcome to the show, Wookie.
Hola!
Oh, there you go.
Hola!
Hey, welcome. And we got the last guy.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
Indeed, if it's not Scottish.
Hello there.
Welcome to the show, Cruel.
Hello there.
Alrighty.
Been dying to do that.
There you go. Well, Cruel happens to be Scottish, so
yes, I am, apparently,
Yep.
yes.
so he might not know Helen Keller that well. Squatcho, John, you guys have heard of Helen Keller,
Oh, of course, yeah.
right?
I heard that she fell into a well and she screamed and screamed until her hands turned blue.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, the Helen Keller jokes, they are a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard she burnt her hands reading the waffle iron.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I heard she burned her cheek with the waffle iron, and then the reason why she burned her other side was they called back or something.
Do you know why her leg is yellow?
Why is her leg yellow?
Because her dog is blind too.
Oh, there you go. She did have Akitas. She did indeed have Akitas. Welcome to the show, Abby, in the chat. So, see, I think they're all, they're all, yep. All right. Anyway, so we are gonna talk about this lady. She's kind of one of those things. She's like a sacred kind of figure. She's pushed in a lot of ways. Even till today, every school child still reads of her in their textbooks in America, at least. And so it's like, why is this person who lived from 1880 all the way to 1968, I think it was, why is she still a thing? Why are we still talking about her? And the most important thing about Helen Keller is the fact that she was deaf and blind, and as a result, she was also mute. And so, this lady named Annie Sullivan shows up, finds a way to communicate with her. There's a stage play that got turned into a movie that's got turned into
she plays
television.
pinball, right?
No, that's
She's
Tommy.
a pinball wizard.
That's Tommy. That's
I knew there had to be a twist.
Yeah. Anyway, so okay. So she actually gave speeches that we have some video of. So let's look at Helen in her own words. 1 second. All right, let me pull this up real quick.
Line it up so we can struck.
It's not a long clip. Let's see. All right, here we go.
Since when has that ever mattered?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is an actual speech from Miss Keller. So,
Polly's help tell you. It is not blindness or deafness that brings me my dearest hours.
It is not blindness or deafness that bring me my darkest hours.
It is the acute disappointment in not being able to speak normally.
It is the acute disappointment in not being able to speak normally.
Longingly, I think how much more good I might have done if I had only acquired natural speech.
Longingly, I feel how much more good I could have done if I had acquired normal speech.
Okay, that's good enough.
That's how cruel sounds to me.
That reminds me of the Expendables 3, doesn't it? It will have what language is that?
Well, it reminds me of kind of like Kung Fu Theater, with the dubs. It's like,
Yeah.
damn you,
One of the worst bar fights I ever got into was in Seattle when we were talking to these girls and these British sailors were in, and they were trying to hit on the same girls. And I said, "Excuse me, I can't understand you. You speaking English?"
Very large mute. And she reminds me of a kindergarten teacher.
A very large mute.
And yep, popcorn. Hey,
Oh my goodness, yeah.
From young Frank.
Well, I mean, that basically it's like they only have like Anne Sullivan's word for. I mean, she's like, I'm communicating with her and I'm translating to you what she's actually saying.
Yeah, I barely understood what she said. Barely.
Yeah.
I picked out a couple of words here or there, but that's pretty much it.
You picked up. It must be a Scottish thing because I couldn't make heads or tails of it. It just sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher to me. Wah, 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 wah,
Do you know what I thought of? It just reminded me of a Billy Connolly joke, and you're dealing with the police, and they say, in your own words, could you tell us what happened?
Oh, Billy Connolly get away with that crap. Yeah, I was watching a Billy Connolly clip the other day. It's like, they said they visit Scotland and it was raining. I was like, of course it is. It's Scotland.
Yes,
it's raining.
Anyway, all right. Well, there's a very the kind of the heart of the controversy. Let me play this gentleman here. I think he says it better than I could. Anyway, here we go.
That brings us to Anne Sullivan, coined by Mark Twain as the miracle worker. She came to the Keller family with a terrible backstory.
Oh,
She had severe visual impairment of her own. Her mother died at a young age. Her father abandoned the family. She grew up literally in a poorhouse, abject poverty. Sullivan was 20 years old when she showed up in Alabama to teach a 6-year-old girl she never met, with no formal training as a teacher of the deafblind. Helen Keller became her entire identity and livelihood from that day forward. From the beginning, Sullivan controlled Keller's education completely. What she learned, how she learned it, what ideas she was exposed to. When Sullivan married a Harvard-educated literary critic, he moved in and started to edit Keller's work, sometimes heavily by his own admission. So Keller's sole interpreter was married to a man with some serious literary skill, and they all lived together under the same roof. That's the household where Keller developed her politics. She became a committed socialist, a suffragist, and a co-founder of the ACLU. She praised the Russian Revolution, and by World War II had aligned with the Communist Party. The idea that this happened in a vacuum, inside a household that had a socialist literary critic editing her words, that doesn't make much sense. In fact, Keller's 1912 essay, How I Became a Socialist, in it she wrote that Sullivan handed her the first book on socialism, not because she was a socialist, but only because she liked its writing style. Over time, Keller's politics ultimately went further left than either of the other two. So maybe her convictions were genuinely her own. But here's the problem. We can't verify much of Keller's thinking at all that didn't pass through Anne Sullivan first. Now, Keller infrequently communicated through others. She could type, and she did develop the ability to speak. Here's a bit of that.
It is not blindness or deafness that brings me my darkest hours.
It is not blindness or deafness that bring me my darkest hours.
So for 33 years, every word Keller ever published went through Sullivan as the sole interpreter. Sullivan admitted she sometimes got the idea of what Keller was saying, but didn't always know the exact words. Right. During the time Keller was with Sullivan and her husband, she published 3 books in her 20s. At the age of 33, she published Out of the Dark, a sustained work of socialist argument. Her writing across those 3 decades was literary, philosophically ambitious, and politically sharp. Then Sullivan died when Keller was 56, and replaced by Polly Thompson, a woman with no background in literature or politics. And the output changed immediately. Helen Keller's journal, published when Keller was 58, it was thinner and more emotional. Let Us Have Faith, published at age 60, it was a collection of short, inspirational essays with no political edge. Teacher, a tribute biography to Sullivan, took nearly 20 years to produce and is considered her weakest book. A woman producing sharp political arguments at 33 was producing inspirational pamphlets at age 60. The verbiage changed as well.
All right.
Well, there you go.
Before we get stuck down. Yeah. Randomly. But yeah, that seems to be the crux of the argument, that basically, so from age 7 all the way through to she was 56, she had this other individual that was doing the translation for her. And hold on a second. I can't prove. I always thought Helen was inspiration Charlie Brown's teacher. I think it's a possibility. Yeah.
Well, you have to. You notice the pattern with all the writings. When Anne Sullivan was involved, all the writings were socialist, communist commentaries that are part now of the nationwide, if not the global, feminist cult movement.
No.
Hey, Zach Tan. Yeah, she was a commie. No wonder she spoke gibberish. Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that the first book that she published when she was 14 turned out to be almost completely word for word plagiarized from another work, and and so the she was like the sacred pupil, or the apple of the eye of this school for the deaf, and that particular principal was like pushing her, and it was a big part of her reputation. And she gave it to him as kind of like supposed to be a gift, and he published it. And then later on, somebody's like, I know this work, and this is almost verbatim. And they went and checked. And sure enough, there's like entire passages of it. And so the excuse that Annie Sullivan gave was that it's cryptomnesia, which means that you have read something in the past and you regurgitated it into your own work, but because kind of passively and not realize that you were basically. But the problem is it was like verbatim passages recopied, you know.
Yeah.
And so they held a hearing, and he was the deciding vote, and he voted on her behalf. But then the rest of he had nothing to do with her like the rest of her life. And as a matter of fact, he told everybody she was a living lie. That's what he actually said.
Yeah.
But right after that, Annie Sullivan marries this, this writer-editor who happened to be a socialist or whatever. And suddenly her writing got way more politically astute and more creative.
Oh, yeah.
And, she started producing a lot more work that had political edge to it. And, okay, hold on a second. Kermit had more agency with his hand up than Helen did with her hand. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you for that.
It's not easy being green.
Once again, we have a poll if you want to vote. One is debunked. She was not a puppet.
Cool. Are you familiar with her? Did she make it over? Did her fame make it over there to the United Kingdom?
I've got no idea.
Oh, you never heard of her? Okay. Yeah, because
maybe.
Like Courtney says, she was like a sacred cow. There was a couple of people that you didn't you didn't want to slander.
No.
Right.
Well,
she did speak at Oxford and Cambridge, but that was more England and Scotland.
I tell you, I think she's more famous because of all the jokes. I mean, like,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And in terms of, there's different levels of deafness and blindness. Do we know what hers was? Complete.
Comedy is willing to plagiarize you a lot about other things. I hope there's some truth to the legend for the girl's sake. It's probably exaggerated. Actually, I have a clip on that.
On that, or what I just asked?
Yeah, what you just asked.
Okay.
Right, here you go.
You think of everything, don't you?
I try to.
Have to be a social outcast or a financial burden on her family because she could now make money. This is furthered by the fact that she and Anne basically put on a circus act of her abilities to communicate being a deaf and blind person. And between 1902 and 1924, Helen was evaluated by doctors and was found to have retained partial vision and hearing. These archives show that she reacted to sounds when Anne was not in the room, and that she tracked movement with her eyes, and that she flinched at loud noises. Somebody that's completely deaf is not going to flinch at loud noises because they did not hear it. And being blind, you're not tracking anything with your eyes because you cannot see it. When this came out, Anne refused to get independent testing for Helen. Why? Because the situation was highly profitable. Anne and Helen toured the country, making public appearances and charging thousands of dollars per appearance. Another theory is that Anne Sullivan was the mastermind of this whole operation. That Anne actually did everything for Helen, like completing the degree and writing the books, and gave Helen the credit because she was more disabled. And they were less likely to tell Helen no when she pushed for something during her activism. Anne was partially blind, but not all the way, so she understood the disability, but she also saw Helen as an opportunity. If Helen...
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't see that. I saw that earlier, and I was like, I tried to find some, and there was some actual documentation that indeed she was independently tested. But it wasn't because Annie allowed it. It was because people took it upon themselves to try her.
Right.
And they recorded back that, yes, she flinched at loud noises and she tracked stuff with her eyes.
Well, the reason I asked about her deafness anyway was because, my mother's pretty much going deaf. So she can hear certain things. It's not completely devoid of sound. So.
Well, people have pointed out that she grew up in Alabama, And so, you
Yeah.
know, if she heard any language before she went deaf, it would have been her parents who had a southern accent.
Yeah.
Right.
And yet, even when she spoke gibberish, it sounded British.
Yes, I saw that in a video. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it sounded like Annie.
Because we sound
Annie
so much
Sullivan.
more intelligent over here, you see. With this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. You just burr some R's up for
Yeah, we
us,
do
so
things
I don't
proper
think-
over here, you see. Yes.
Right.
I heard the only thing she ever said without Anne Sullivan's being there was the Benny Hill theme.
Oh,
there you go. Tracking movement's hard to explain, but loud noises may if it cause vibration.
Well, that's it. I mean,
Hi.
she might be able to see like shapes and objects and stuff moving, but just not clearly.
Well, I know for a fact I have a deaf school in my area, and I have met people who are completely deaf, and they do feel vibrations. I will admit, I will say that. But the thing about it is, though, if you feel a vibration, and it startled you, you would look around. But when she heard a noise, a loud noise, if she was just felt the vibration, then she wouldn't have looked right at, like, in the direction of the noise. And so they were saying that she would look in the direction of the noise. So,
Okay.
So in other words, there's some eye tracking there. So we're talking about, but according to Anne Sullivan, this is somebody who is completely, totally blind and deaf.
Totally stone deaf, right?
Totally stone deaf, right? Because it was a better story.
Well, yeah.
And it's, but they would basically, it's like they did the vaudeville circuit. Basically, she would communicate stuff or Helen would communicate stuff to her, and that was like the whole entire trick or whatever. But she only had, and it's basically Anne Sullivan's word that she was actually speaking. So, at the end of the day, she was taken care of financially. She was independently wealthy, and she was heavily involved with social causes, including eugenics.
Oh,
she
joy.
wrote a paper supporting a eugenicist or a doctor who let a baby die because it was defective. And
really,
yeah, it was one of the biggest controversies of her lifetime. So it's like, I mean, that
it wasn't that long into her own existence that she went deaf and blind. I'm just saying.
Right. She was born perfect, so it doesn't make sense that she would have that she would think eugenics.
It's kind of like the whole Spartan thing, tossing them off the cliff. My goodness.
Yep, exactly. Which has happened. Down syndrome children are being wiped out in certain countries because of prenatal testing. And if there's any defects of the baby, they're trying to immediately move to abortion. So, like there's a controversial in Texas, I think, where a defect was detected in a baby who's given to a surrogate mother, and she refused to abort it, even though the parents were like, "Yeah, get rid of it. It's defective." Loving parents that they are. And she managed to hold on to the baby, and she managed to birth the baby, and it turned out the baby was fine.
Yeah, the baby had heart surgery. The baby's completely fine, and now they're suing to get the kid back.
They're suing to get the kid back. Yeah, there you go. The ones that wanted it. Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, this whole entire thing is just
that's why that could be a surrogacy. I think is buying and selling of human life.
Yeah. I think in vitro fertilization and all that it's like abortion by a different name. I think it is. My opinion.
Oh, we love that. Abortions are great. We love that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Moloch must get his pound of flesh.
Oh yes.
It does not make sense from a consistency perspective. No, it does not.
We wouldn't want things to make sense now, would we?
We would not. We would not.
No.
Now, this guy, he gave a really good list. 10 reasons why Helen Keller might be fake.
Oh yeah, this guy's good. I
saw
this.
that one
This
earlier.
guy's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if we agree. So here we go.
Number 10. She was a deaf-blind toddler who.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Yeah, here we go.
Who somehow learned language? Okay, let's start with the basics. Helen Keller lost all sight and hearing at 19 months old.
Yeah.
That means she had barely started learning words before her world went completely silent and dark. Then along comes her teacher, Anne Sullivan, who just starts spelling words into her hand and boom, language unlocked. Challenge to you. Try teaching a grown blindfolded adult a new language by just tracing letters on their palm and see how far you get.
Okay.
Number 9. She didn't just learn language, she became a genius. Not only did Helen learn language, but she mastered 3 languages, wrote books, gave speeches, and even had deep political opinions. Yes, she evidently learned French, German, and Latin. Latin, not pig Latin, Latin. I'm sure that was easy. Most people struggle to learn basic Spanish on Duolingo, but sure, she's out there debating world affairs in French. Makes total sense. Better give her a stamp.
Okay.
Stamp of approval.
So what do you think? What do you think of those two so far?
She learned those abilities through the Force.
I mean, it's pretty simple. You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Has she ever been tested without Anne Sullivan around? Has she been in a room and with Latin scholars and French scholars and people and like, okay, write a book, talk to her, whatever. It's never happened. So to me, it's obvious that Anne Sullivan was manipulating.
Yeah, sounds that way, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, let's get a couple more here.
Got to think of it
Number 8.
What's that?
Number 8. Sorry.
Okay.
She wrote 14 books without ever seeing a word.
There you go.
Dad,
Yeah?
here's all the books on Helen Keller I could find on Amazon.
I told you to write a list of the books Helen Keller wrote on Amazon.
No, I'm pretty sure you told me to buy them.
Fine, I'll start the return. No. You didn't hurt yourself, did you?
No.
Okay, good. So anyways, 14 books. That's more than most authors with full senses ever manage. Yet somehow Helen, who never saw letters, never heard a word spoken after the age of 19 months, was dropping literary masterpieces that you can still buy today. At this point, I gotta ask, did Helen even know what a book really was? Think about it. Couldn't see, couldn't hear, so they just put this object in her hands, and she knew what it was, and that she could write one. Not one, how about 14? That's a little sus, you have to admit. Number 7.
Okay, let's start there.
How big were these? How much content was there in these books?
Oh, they were thick. The
Really?
books were pretty thick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they weren't like pamphlets or anything.
I could understand if it was like 14 tiny little books or something, but
They treat kids like Amazon package delivery animals.
Yeah.
There you go. What else are good kids good for? Hey yo, what's going on? Hey, cooking.
Hello.
But yeah, she's very prolific, and a lot of them were they were like self-help. They were like early form of like self-help. They were political treatises, basically on socialist and communistic philosophies.
I'm sure she came to those conclusions just out of the ether.
There you go.
Also, what contrary opinions was she given where she could decide which one was better?
Exactly.
Is there any evidence that she was explained what capitalism means, and you know what I mean?
Right.
She said that Annie gave her a book on socialism, and she liked the way the words went.
Okay, fine. Was she given a book on capitalism? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you give me a student, and I could just bombard them for 20 years with my opinion, and they're going to repeat
Well,
that.
I mean, look what's happening right now with the DSA. You think
Yep.
those kids know anything about capitalism
exactly.
whatsoever?
Look
They
at
could
that
probably
in
quote you
education.
the entire.
If she was
passage.
given a book on socialism, how the hell did she read it?
Well, it was probably read to her, I'm assuming, or at least signed into her hand or something. I
It
don't
would
know.
have to be.
It's always rich kids
Well,
that support communism. Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, she probably couldn't read it.
Yeah.
How well could she hear it, thus understand it?
Yeah, exactly. It's just she was just that brilliant, guys. She was just that freaking brilliant.
Maybe she's one of these people that just had that like genius level IQ and just conveniently couldn't see or hear.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously, when was Braille invented?
Oh yeah.
I think Braille was invented in the 1920s, I think, and she picked that up when it came in.
Right.
She was supposedly able to read Braille.
Oh yeah.
So, well, I don't know. Anyway,
Of course,
she was just that brilliant. She was
There's
just
a lot
that
of
brilliant.
a lot of cases of people who go blind, but they've already been able to read and write and stuff like that, then pick up Braille. But
All communists are closeted capitalists. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how the communist countries, the Communist Party has like trillionaires and millionaires in it. It's like the dude down in Cuba, Castro.
Oh yeah.
His daughter's worth like 800 million or something like that.
Yeah.
So
really?
Yeah.
That all?
Yeah, he lived in this little cottage by the waterfront, and somehow his daughter's worth 800 million. So anyway,
Wow. Yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah, the country's got brownouts, but his daughter's worth 800 million. But anyway, so somebody that money's going somewhere. I'll just say that. All right, let's get a couple more of these. So.
Without ever hearing a human voice. Here's where it gets really weird. Helen Keller didn't just write books. She gave speeches, actual verbal speeches, to crowds without ever hearing how words sound. I mean, she didn't hear anything since she was 19 months. And here's the kicker. She had a British accent. WTF? She was born in West Tuscumbia, Alabama. I don't know about you, but I've never heard someone from Alabama say, "Hello, mate." Even people who are born partially deaf struggle with speech. But Helen, who is completely deaf and blind, just casually developed perfect enunciation. Right. And the explanations we get on why this isn't unusual just don't hold water. But I do believe that an English accent makes you sound smarter. So good choice, Helen. Number 6. She had political opinions about things she couldn't experience. So let me get this straight. Helen Keller wasn't just literate. She was political. She supported socialism, women's rights, and labor unions. But how was she forming these opinions? Imagine you live on an island in the Pacific, your whole life alone. Would you have political opinions? She had no way to watch the news, hear debates, or read about whatever. Everything she knew had to be filtered through someone else. There's no chance these were her original thoughts. I'm smelling a puppet. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, with having to rely on someone else, pretty much. And I don't know how much of her brain would develop.
Right.
You know.
Will Comey hit this on the head right here.
Yep.
It says Helen was more literate than a toddler.
No more literate.
And capitalizing on society and mostly women's fantasy of the inspirational victim, mostly their desire to care for them. It's subverted motherly care. Yeah. I mean,
Well, plus
destroyed our freaking Western society, pretty much.
But we're talking in the early 1920s, and she was getting speaking fees of over $1,000.
Yeah.
So that.
How much were her mumbling fees?
Yeah, well, I mean, Annie was getting the speaking, was doing the speaking, but you know,
It's like mumbles from Dick Tracy, is it?
She likes to say, "Thank you for having us." Anyway, yeah. All right, let's let's get a couple more. All right.
I'm smelling an actual puppet.
This is good right here.
Second. I don't know about this. Kind of weird. Number 5. She allegedly flew a plane. This is where it really goes off the rails.
Yep.
I mean, into the ditch crazy. In 1946, Helen Keller allegedly flew a freaking plane. I barely trust people with perfect vision.
She was a kamikaze pilot.
You're telling me a deaf-blind woman was up in the clouds like Top Gun? What's her nickname, Maverick? It was with the now defunct Pan American Airlines, so you don't have to cross them off your Expedia carrier.
That's why they're
Defenders of the Keller story say she only flew straight and the captain was right there. So in essence, they are confirming this was a PR stunt, which could lead one to think that the whole Keller thing was all a PR stunt. Number 4, she read lips with her fingers.
Yeah.
So the narrative goes that Keller supposedly could read lips by touching people's mouths while they spoke. Try this experiment. Close your eyes, plug your ears, and touch someone's lips while they talk. Can you tell me what they were saying? I didn't think so. Yet Helen was somehow fluent in multiple languages, including Latin. Using this technique? Fishier and fishier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the reason why this is an issue is because when different languages have like different pronunciation.
Yeah.
And that your lips are like moved
completely
differently.
Opposite. Sometimes sentence structure.
I mean, especially German. I mean, German. If you put your hand on the mouth of a German, you're going to get spit all over your.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a very guttural sounding language. Anyway, Helen sounded like Julia Child on the commode. Another person just happened to need bookings to hear her speak, right?
Guttural language. What, she's speaking Klingon?
Yeah, no kidding.
Commode. That's a good one. There you go. All right. Let's get a couple more here.
Number 3. There's no video proof of her doing any of this alone. For someone so famous, there's very little unedited footage of Helen actually communicating without extensive help. Almost every clip shows her with her teacher, Ann Sullivan, guiding her hand. Did she really know what was happening, or was Ann feeding her information? Could Helen actually hear? If you had a miracle human able to do all these things, wouldn't you make a video archive for posterity? I know I would. While we can never know for sure, the lack of footage doesn't help the case. Number 2, her teacher was known for making things up. Ann Sullivan was the only person who could communicate with Helen for years, always through her hands. Thought experiment. If someone told you they had a dog that could communicate with them by holding their paw, would you believe them?
What's that?
Again, I wouldn't believe it if they said it's a dog, but
Right, you got it.
the thing about Helen Keller is there's no other person to verify this. It's it's either you accept Ann Sullivan's words or you don't. So I mean, again, you know me, I'm the skeptical one.
Yeah,
I'm the skeptical one of the four of us. So I mean I never really thought about it, Helen Keller, before. I didn't even know that she was into all this politics and everything.
Yeah.
But the more I'm seeing about this, the only conclusion that I can is that there was no scientific evidence of this. This was one woman's word. Now, if she really did have these beliefs and she really did have all this talents, and should have been, by all means, go into this other room. I'm gonna go downstairs to the cafeteria and have some coffee while you guys study and you know what I mean. But since that was never done, you know which side I have to go on.
Well,
fantastic claims require fantastic evidence, and there's no evidence.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, Helen Keller was a freaking superhero. Come on now.
That's Matt Murdock, the blind superhero.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Matt Murdock. Yeah.
There you go.
She could write 14 books in 5 languages or 3 or whatever the hell it was.
Right. There you go. And one of them in a dead language, evidently. So there you go.
Yeah.
So
right.
for its clobbering time this Friday, we should do who would win in a fight, Helen Keller or Tommy?
What about his own Tommy? He plays a mean pinball.
Yeah, he plays a mean pinball.
And you want pepperoni treats for dessert? I think we can do that. Wait, what? You also want to watch more Animal Planet? Okay, sounds good.
And guess what? Anne had a history of exaggerating Helen's abilities. So the story is that Anne was known to tell some whoppers. She wasn't exactly George Washington in the honesty department. And people who met Helen often said she seemed confused or didn't respond unless Anne was there. There were also some who accused Anne of faking Helen's intelligence. Anne just isn't exactly a rock-solid witness. Number 1, she's the perfect inspirational story. But is that all it was? Let's be real. The story of a deaf-blind mute girl overcoming all odds is perfect Hollywood material.
Yeah.
Helen Keller became a brand, a symbol of triumph, a female icon of the highest order. But was she actually writing books, flying planes, and debating politics? Or was she just the face of an inspiring narrative controlled by the people around her? I believe Occam's razor gives us the answer. So there you have it. The top 10 reasons Keller may have been a whole lot of showbiz. Was Helen Keller?
Alrighty.
I mean, you got Helen Keller, who was one of the poster children for the suffragettes, the whatever you want to call them at the time, basically feminists.
Yeah. Well, she co-founded the ACLU.
And and then you got, the other icons of that exact era. They were contemporaries, were Margaret Sanger and Carrie Nation, all fucking communists.
No.
Yeah. Thank you. We're the world comedy.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
We gotta.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna tell women I read lips. Oh no, not those lips.
Oh, I'm gonna get struck. Anyway.
Yeah. My goodness.
Well, the point was made that after Annie Sullivan dies, Helen goes politically inactive.
Yeah.
Almost entirely. And one of the things that she was completely silent through was the civil rights movement. And so this person who co-founded the ACLU didn't have anything to say about civil rights, the civil rights movement. And she died in 1968, so she was there. Of course, she was like in her late 70s, early 80s at that time. But at the same time, when Annie Sullivan was alive, she had an opinion on everything.
Oh yeah.
And she wrote pamphlets, and she supposedly protested and did speeches.
She was the great facade.
Yeah.
Well, as I was saying to Bunny before we came on, when I watched a couple of those videos, it just reminded us of the show we did on the Battle of the Sexes, and I was like instantly, yep, lot of shite.
There you go. And so we keep running into these hoaxes that we're told that we're not supposed to question, and they always benefit the exact same political side. They always benefit the exact same side. I was telling Gruel, I was like, I'm beginning to wonder if the left side of the political spectrum even exists.
Like Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman, exactly. She didn't exist. Harriet Tubman,
the Holocaust
very likely didn't exist, or at least didn't do what they said she did.
There's been so much, it seems, so many lies and exaggerations and manipulations, so it's hard to tell.
Well, and it always winds up when somebody shows up and they become iconic and they get taught to school children, and then you look into it and it's like there's nothing there.
There's a whole bunch. Like you're not allowed to question Martin Luther King Jr. either. The guy did a lot of shady stuff. Another one who's a total 100% fraud is Nelson Mandela.
Oh yeah,
Nelson Mandela is a piece of crap. Gandhi was an asshole.
Yep.
Gandhi had underage girls sleeping with him, supposedly to test his chastity.
These people, they hit a level, and you're not allowed to question it anymore.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, and it's like, and it always winds up being beneficial to one side of the political spectrum or one point of view, and it's always pushing the communist philosophy, or in some
Che
ways,
Guevara was a piece of crap.
Exactly.
Yeah, you see these idiots with t-shirts. If only they knew.
It's like you are aware that Che Guevara was like murdering LGBTQ people, right?
He was.
That he had a particular hate on for them, and
oh yeah.
Actually,
I remember arguing
got millions killed. Yeah,
I remember arguing with people about Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was told, "We'll let you out of jail if you tell your wife Winnie to stop killing these people," and he said no. Why? Because jail was better than being with his wife Winnie.
He was so bloodthirsty that
he had a pool and he had servants in jail.
Yeah, they literally had to depose her because she was so bloodthirsty. Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
Hey.
What if Barack Obama's mother just happened to be the secretary for the director of the CIA? What are the odds?
Yeah, imagine that.
Amazing. It's amazing some of these connections.
How Barack Obama had the same freaking Social Security number of a deceased guy that died in Illinois. Imagine the hell out of that.
and why did his what did people in Kenya say? Oh yeah, we know who that is. Anyway, don't even get me started on Amelia Earhart. Men already made it around the world in World War I in one occurrence in 2 weeks, and here we are decades later still searching for her.
Wasn't the point that she was the first woman to do it, and then she didn't make it?
Yeah. Well, there's actually an Australian woman who actually flew further and longer. But
there you go.
We don't know much about her. She wasn't pushed because she wasn't a Maine girl, Maine liberal girl. Anyway, so I mean so the possibilities are that Helen Keller went deaf and blind at 19 months old.
Right.
And this woman comes out of the woodwork named Annie Sullivan, who had no training with mentally handicapped adults or disabled children, but she shows up.
Leftists. Let's just chip.
Yeah, leftists.
Yeah, okay. But she shows up and somehow she figures out how to communicate with this girl who at 19 months old would not have known anything, any words, would have not known any concepts. And somehow she got her to understand it. Oh, this is water. And that's what water is.
And now she was feral till about 7 years old, they said.
Yeah,
so
completely.
What her name wasn't even in the picture yet.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. This would be what this would be.
There you go.
This would be what? An early case of grifting?
Okay. Well, so the narrative is that this woman who had no experience with handicapped children somehow managed to communicate with this young girl who had absolutely no language skills or no concept of what communication was, and somehow that young girl managed to start publishing at 14. Like 7 years later, she started publishing. And somehow, some way, this young girl who could not hear, could not see, supposedly learned 4 different languages and got involved with the suffragette movement, got involved with the ACLU. And women wouldn't lie about this kind of thing, right?
Of course not.
And
no, never happened. Never
Don't
Okay.
lie about anything. Believe all
and
women.
would only speak with this woman was in the room with her interpreting. And also when that woman died, she suddenly decided, I don't want to do anything with politics anymore. And it was
Yeah.
reputed by people who actually met her when Annie wasn't in the room, she seemed confused.
Right.
Okay. And it was also determined that she did have some eyesight and she did have some hearing. But it wasn't because Annie allowed it. It was because people took it upon themselves to find out. Okay. So the possibility. She's the absolute super genius. 2, Annie was behind the whole entire thing. Or 3, Helen was faking being feral. And she did have some hearing and she did have some eyesight. But Annie basically was leading her around. And she was just...
Well, is there any
So-
evidence from her childhood? Like, are all of her childhood stories anecdotal? Like, is there doctors confirming that she was, you know what I mean?
She was never tested.
Right. So there we go. So, guys,
Yeah.
I glue in the dark when I was a child.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
We'll just start.
Hey, if you say it, then it must be true, right? There you go. Anyway, you must have been a light bulb. I tried to reach out to the Helen Keller Foundation for response, but the comments were disabled.
Yeah, no kidding. Right?
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Wah, wah, wah.
Emotional damage.
That guy's funny.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Anyway. So I mean, all right. So
Well, she couldn't hear, so she was deaf. She couldn't speak, so she was dumb, and she was also socialist, so she was dumb.
there you go. There you go. So if we're arguing that she was an absolute genius, then how did she wind up with, believing in communism and socialism?
B dog.
Hey, if you say so.
That
I'm
was
not
a bit
going
of
to
a
check.
dick move.
I will take your word
we
for
need
it.
Helen Keller to read it.
Yeah, Helen Keller had to check on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
I'll bet you are.
there you go. Anyway, so those are the possibilities. All right. So we have a poll up on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had. There you go.
Oh no! Do you know what I just thought of? It's that Brian Blessed. Are you retarded?
Well, if she believed in communism, then probably. All right. So, debunked. Type 1 in the chat if you believe in debunked. That she wasn't a puppet. That she actually did
But
all this
debunked
stuff. with her own.
she's legit.
She's legit. Debunked
Okay,
means
I
she's
just want to make sure
legit.
before I vote. Okay.
Absolutely. Debunked means she's legit. Confirmed means yes, she was Annie Wilkes or Annie Sullivan's puppet. I'm sorry, Annie Wilkes was the nurse from anyway. All right. In the middle means that she was complicit with Annie Sullivan, and that they did it together. That would be that one. Debunked. Somebody said debunked. Okay. Anyway, debunked means that she was actually legit. So you might not.
If she was in on it, then she would have stuck with it after Annie. Like if that was her beliefs, then she would have, been
right
continued after Annie died.
Right. Okay. Okay. So all right. Let me go around the horn. So Wookie, where are you leaning on this one?
I want to say confirm because that's what I
Okay.
put in the chat. Yeah. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that she didn't start out with a hearing impairment and a vision impairment, but over time, in certain environments and things like that, she could have regained. If she had lost a lot, she could have regained some sensory, from her eyes and from her ears, given the fact that there were some tests being done and she could see things and track things that were moving in front of her and also hearing things like sharp tones and sounds and things like that startled her.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think there was a little bit of a grift there going on between both of them.
Okay.
So,
So you're in the middle then.
no, confirmed. I
confirmed.
think it was all fraud.
Okay.
But it
so you-
doesn't necessarily mean she didn't have an impediment of vision and hearing.
Okay. All right. All right. So you're confirmed.
Because her
Okay.
good old Annie was the master of the puppet.
Illuminati confirmed.
Hey.
Keller, Daredevil confirmed. Yeah. Yeah. I see your point. But it doesn't mean she was not. She was less. I mean, it's a good possibility she was less impaired than they let on.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Yeah,
she
maybe.
was still being a puppet. So I think that's what you meant. Annie Wilkes is Paul Sheldon. Just see it's Helen got the same relationship. Yeah. She used to force the sense objects near her.
Yes.
Of course.
All right.
Yeah,
John.
'cause
All
everybody
right.
knows blind people make the best martial artists. We've all seen John Wick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Absolutely. John Wick. There you go.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wonder what she could do with
the
a
one with
pencil.
Rutger Hauer is one of my favorite martial arts.
Yeah.
movies of all time. Yeah. Yeah. That was completely
What's that one?
supernatural. No. I can't remember the as
Yeah,
I
I
can't
know which
remember the
one
name of it,
Rutger
but it
Hauer
was
yeah.
a movie where Rutger Hauer played a soldier.
Blind
who came
Fury.
back- Blind Fury. Blind
Yeah.
Fury.
I think I've seen it. I might have.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
know about it.
it's completely ridiculous, but it's fun. It's a very fun movie. I love
Right.
Rutger Hauer and anything
Oh, yeah.
he's ever
Yeah,
done.
that's great.
Blind Fury. Yep, B-Dog got it. All right. Okay, John. Where are you landing on this one?
I believe she was a handicapped person,
Mm-hmm.
and then Annie. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if she started out like, "Hey, I'm going to scam everybody," or I think Annie got it, started teaching her, and then maybe it got out of control, and you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
Otherwise, we got to think that Annie was like a super genius. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I think it's one of those things that she probably believed it at first. Look, I'm teaching her this. I'm teaching her this. And it was, oh, look, she's saying this stuff. And next thing, she's making money. And then you got to confirm it. So I think Helen Keller was a puppet.
Okay.
But I don't think it's one of those things that spiraled out
It
of
might have
control.
started out that way. Okay.
Correct. Like I'm not going to give Annie the benefit of the doubt and think that she was a Lex Luthor from day one. I think it's just one of those things, kind of like Nelson Mandela. That spiraled out of control.
Yeah. Right. I'd pay to see Helen Keller Demon Hunter. I want to see an insert of Helen Keller and Forrest Gump. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, it's a possible timeline. Okay. Annie Sullivan actually reaches Helen Keller, and maybe they didn't know that she actually could see and she could hear some, but when she started communicating back, suddenly the narrative started getting spread in the press, and suddenly they became famous, and suddenly it's like, oh, you're the miracle worker. I mean, she was called that by Mark Twain, and so this thing became a monster, and then and here she is with her socialist
Well,
causes.
Mark Twain was a fraud too, because he was really Samuel Clemens. Mark Twain never existed.
Samuel Longhorn Clemens, yeah.
Right. Yep. Samuel Clemens.
At least he did his own writing, though. All right. Okay, Krill, what are you thinking about, my friend?
Yep, I confirmed as well. I even took the time to sign in and vote in the comments. Imagine that.
Yeah, I
always
shite.
forget.
I smell
I always
shite.
forget.
Anyway.
No,
Definitely
I agree. It might not have started off as a grift, but I think it just got there.
Well, I mean, if you're able to call them like $1,000 for an appearance, or a speech, in the early
1920s,
in 1920s, I mean, that's incredible.
We also encountered something similar with our Amityville thing,
right?
Where the what's her name again? The couple.
Yeah.
What's their names again?
What the
I forget
hell's
their
name?
names, but they seem to start off legitimate.
Oh,
and then,
Elaine Warren.
We-
Yeah,
Warren.
Elaine Warren.
yeah. They seem to start off pretty legitimate, and then it just kind of got a bit
spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
there
the
you go.
same kind of
If
thing,
You show
I
me a
think.
man who got rich off politics, I can show you a thief. Yeah, Mark.
I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same kind of thing there. It just spirals out of control.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, like I think a lot of grifts. Very rarely do I think a grift starts out as a grift.
Right.
I think some people start out in earnest. They start making money, and then the cracks start to show, and they got to double down on it.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well,
like-
I mean, it's. I think there's a lot of situations where somebody seems sincere at the start of it, and then as it goes on and goes on, and they just they just start going off the rails.
Yeah.
And it just like
Bernie
out of
Sanders.
control.
Do you honestly think that guy believes in his own stuff? You know what I mean? But he can't admit that he's full of crap. You know that's the end of his political career.
The guy's got like 4 houses now. I mean,
Right.
Who knows? Yeah.
okay, so I borrow.
Does anybody
10,000?
believe
No.
Rippaverse is failing? But you got to double down on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
well, that's
yeah,
it, isn't it?
Go ahead.
The it's like I always think of Jurassic Park 3 in this sort of instance where Alan Grant says some of the worst things imaginable are done with the best intentions.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
Right.
Or you
Well,
could just go with the whole road to hell thing. So
Yeah, it's like Jimmy Swaggart was a street preacher, and then he got a really famous
Yeah.
televangelist, and he's twirling New Orleans
Really-
back streets in his white Jaguar, looking for prostitutes in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
have sinned, you know. So anyway,
Yeah.
Hey there,
What-
baby. Dude.
Just like Jim and Tammy Faye.
there you go. Jim and Tammy Faye. Yeah, I mean, I've seen interviews with Tammy Faye, and I really think she was the real deal. Even Jim wasn't. At least she started out as it, because she was such a sweet lady. In all the interviews I saw. All right, so I'm gonna stop the poll. We have a clear result.
Yeah,
and
looks like it. My goodness.
Yep. Matthew Craik said he misunderstood. That's why he's the lone vote. So I think it's pretty well in the bag. It's like I only trust Joel Holstein.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll have to talk after the show. I got some things to point out to you. Anyway, so we're going to go with... Definitely a puppet. But, you know, I think she's pretty much a prime example of one of these sacred cows that in society that we get, that are basically like, oh, this is established. You know, this is established. You gotta believe that this is fact. And so, I mean that miracle worker. It's got a television. It's got a stage play. It's got a musical. It's got like movies. I mean, it's basically ubiquitous. You know that Andy Sullivan's this great, wonderful lady who broke through. Anne Bancroft played her, for God's sake. That's where Anne Bancroft. That's why we know who she is. I can't remember who played Helen Keller. It's a very
Patty
famous
Duke.
actress too. Yeah,
Patty Duke.
There you go, Patty Duke. Right, but so it's like essentially we keep running into this phenomenon where something that we've just like the Smithsonian. It's like, oh, Smithsonian's this great organization, and then we find out what they've been up to the last 5 years. You know,
My goodness, how often have they featured in our shows?
how many times it's like, oh, the Smithsonian acquired me, and then boop, it's gone. Then
Are they involved here? Who knows?
Well, I mean, them in the British Museum is like it one or the other. Like I just believe all sacred cows at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's getting that way, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting that way. I mean, it's like all of these people that are basically modern day saints that you're not allowed to question or whatever. You find out, Martin Luther King was a communist.
Well, there you go. The problem that people have is they develop this kind of savior complex.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry to say, but that's not good because people will
know,
let you down.
I think there's only one person that's worthy of that.
Yes.
In my opinion, I mean, it's not the opinion of everybody on the board. But it is my opinion.
No. If you believe in religion, then you know who your savior is. But in terms of in the human world and politics, etc., and so forth, then people develop savior complexes, and it's just like, sorry, but your guy might. Your guy might not be all there.
There's a thing happening over in your neck of the woods there, Cruel, with
really? Stuff?
some stuff well, nearby, not in Scotland, but good old Ireland, Northern Ireland. In fact, the good old Catholics and the Protestants have got together.
I know. Imagine that.
Come together.
There's a bigger threat. There's a bigger threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the IRA and the UDF and UVD or VVF have all come together. So the people were killing each other back in the day. The Protestants and Catholics. The Catholics were for independence. The Protestants they were in favor of the British government. Blah blah blah. And
well, I mean, if they want the Irish Republican Army to come out of retirement, then
it's already is. I
mean, the Al Qaeda were scared of the IRA.
Oh yeah,
come on, guys. We know that they handed in all their guns.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, IRA they flat out did nail bombs. Okay, I mean, they were heinous, man. They were heinous as crap. Anyway,
both sides of those groups, the Protestant side and the Irish side, and they were fighting each other.
Right. It's like the YouTube chat's pulling some BS. The chat's empty except for participants on the
panel. No, we're streaming two different channels. So
StreamYard's, all the channels are
so people that are watching this on Cooper's are seeing only Cooper's chat. People who are watching this on mine are seeing mine.
Yeah.
We had the same thing last week, so
it collates everybody over there. That's how everybody's able to vote in the poll.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you guys for coming. It's been a great show. My proposal for the next show was Nixon's setup.
Oh, good one.
Is that agreed?
Would be a good one. Yeah.
Okay. Next show. I guess we're gonna find out. A guy who's unlike Helen, who's like made a saint. We got a guy who's made a total villain, and so we're going to talk about, was he as bad as they say? We already did McCarthy, so we might as well talk about Nixon.
Like Spock said, sometimes you need a Nixon to go to China.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There you go.
That's right.
All right, so thank y'all for coming, and we will see you all next week.
Yep. Next 2 weeks.
I'm sorry, week after next.
Week after.
Yeah. So that's so sweet. Anyway, one more. Read Conquest of Violence. Glazes Gandhi's nonviolent approach to his real-world history tells a much different story. Master of provoking others to violence, just not himself. Yeah. And his hunger strike was a little bit sus. We'll just say that much. Plus the whole underage girl sleeping with him.
Well, have you seen Indian food? He just didn't want to touch it.
There you go. Who'd want to eat that stuff anyway? There you go.
That's why they use curry so heavily in their shit.
Yeah.
Shit yourself.
Kill the taste.
Make sure you have plenty of toilet paper. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly.
All right.
Bucket.
So, all right. Anyway.
Yes. We'll have more Beating the Dead Horse.
Okay.
In 2 weeks from tonight.
All right. Week after next. Was Nixon set up? We'll talk about that one.
All right.
All right. No, for Beating the Dead Horse. Yeah. All right. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.